Okay, so I thought I had a fairy tale marriage. I really did. Met Marcus when I was 26. He was 32, successful, charming, had his life together. He owned his own house, a beautiful house, ran a successful consulting business, seemed stable and mature, everything I was looking for. We dated for 2 years. He proposed on a beach in Greece. It was perfect, magazine worthy, the kind of proposal you'd see on Pinterest and think, goals. We got married 6 months later, small ceremony, close friends and family, exactly what we both wanted. The first 3 years were great, like genuinely great. We travelled, we worked on the house together, we talked about our future, about kids, about growing old together, all the things you're supposed to talk about when you're building a life with someone. And then I got pregnant. We'd been trying for about 6 months, so it wasn't a surprise. It was planned. We were ready. When I showed him the positive test, he cried, actually cried, happy tears. He picked me up, spun me around, said, "I'm going to be a dad," over and over. It was beautiful. It was real. Or so I thought. 2 weeks after I told him about the pregnancy, he came home from work with papers, legal papers. I was sitting on the couch eating crackers because morning sickness was kicking my ass, and he just dropped this folder in my lap. "What's this?" I asked. He smiled, that smile, the one I'd fallen in love with. "Just some legal stuff, post-nuptial agreement. My lawyer says it's smart to have one, especially now that we're having a baby. Protects both of us." Both of us. Right. I flipped through the pages. Legal jargon. Clauses about asset division, about property, about spousal support. I didn't really understand most of it. "Marcus, why do we need this? We're married. We're having a baby. Why are we planning for a divorce?" He laughed, not a genuine laugh, a dismissive laugh. "We're not planning for divorce, babe. We're just being smart. It's what responsible adults do. My lawyer recommended it, said it's standard practice." Standard practice? For WHO, for people who don't trust each other. "Can I have my own lawyer look at this?" I asked. His face changed, just for a second. A flash of something, annoyance, frustration. But then the smile came back. "Of course you can, but honestly, it's pretty straightforward. My guy already went through everything. He made sure it's fair to both of us. You're protected. The baby's protected. It's all good." All good. Famous last words. "I'd still like someone to explain it to me," I insisted. "These terms, I don't really understand what they mean." He sighed, looked at his watch. "Look, I have a meeting in an hour. Can you just sign it? We'll get your lawyer to review it after if you want. But I need to file this with the court this week." Red flag number 1. Why the rush? Why did this need to be filed immediately? We'd been married for 3 years without any legal agreements. Why now? Why the urgency? "Marcus, I'm not signing something I don't understand. That's insane." His jaw tightened. "It's not insane. It's smart. And honestly, I'm a little hurt that you don't trust me on this. I'm your husband, the father of your child. I'm not trying to screw you over." The guilt trip. Classic manipulation, making me feel bad for wanting to protect myself, for wanting to understand what I was signing. "It's not about trust," I said carefully. "It's about being informed, about making sure I know what I'm agreeing to." "Fine." He grabbed the papers back. "Take them to a lawyer. Take your time. But don't blame me when this becomes a bigger hassle than it needs to be." He left the room. I heard his car pull out of the driveway minutes later, and I sat there on the couch, crackers forgotten, feeling wrong. Something felt wrong. but I couldn't put my finger on what. He was right that postnups existed, that some couples had them, but the timing, the pressure, the way he'd dismiss my concerns, that wasn't normal. That wasn't love. I called my friend Jessica. She's a paralegal, not a lawyer, but she knows legal stuff. I asked her if she could look at the agreement. She came over that night, sat at my kitchen table, read through every page, and her face got darker and darker. Finally, she looked up. "Emma, this is bad." "What do you mean, bad?" "I mean, this agreement basically says that if you divorce, you get nothing. No house, no savings, no spousal support. You walk away with whatever you brought into the marriage," which, correct me if I'm wrong, wasn't much because you were 26 and broke when you met him. My stomach dropped. "But he said it protects both of us." "It protects him. Everything's in his name, right? The house, the business, the investments." "Well, yeah, he owned all that before we got married." "Exactly. And this agreement ensures that even though you've been married for years, even though you're about to have his child, you have no claim to any of it. Meanwhile, if he wants to leave, he keeps everything and you get whatever's in your personal bank account, which is what, a few thousand, maybe?" I felt sick, actually physically sick. "Why would he want me to sign this?" Jessica closed the folder. "I don't know, but you need to find out, and you need your own lawyer, not his, yours." I hired a lawyer the next day, Karen. She was expensive, but she was good. I sent her the postnup. She called me 2 hours later. "Emma, under no circumstances should you sign this. This is one of the most one-sided agreements I've ever seen. It's basically financial abandonment with a legal stamp." "But Marcus said..." "I don't care what Marcus said. What he's asking you to do is sign away any rights to marital assets. Assets you've contributed to. You've been maintaining that house for 3 years. You've supported his business. You've built a life together. And he wants you to agree that none of that matters, that you have no stake in any of it." My hands were shaking. Why would he do this? That's what you need to ask him, because this isn't normal. This isn't standard practice. This is someone trying to protect assets from a spouse, and the timing right after you got pregnant, that's suspicious. I confronted him that night, showed him Karen's assessment. "Your lawyer says this agreement is completely unfair, that it gives me nothing." He rolled his eyes. "Of course, your lawyer would say that. That's how they make money, by making everything complicated." "She's not making it complicated. She's explaining what you're asking me to sign." "I'm asking you to sign a fair agreement." "It's not fair, Marcus. It says I get nothing if we divorce. Nothing after years of marriage, after having your child." His face went cold. "You're not going to sign it, are you?" "Not as it's written, no. We need to revise it. Make it actually fair." He stood up. "Fine. Then I guess we're done here." "Done? What does that mean?" "It means if you can't trust me enough to sign a simple legal document, then maybe we shouldn't be married." My jaw dropped. "You're threatening divorce because I won't sign an unfair postnup?" "I'm not threatening anything. I'm just stating facts. I need to protect my assets, and if you're not willing to cooperate, then we have a problem." Protect his assets from me, his pregnant wife. Red flag number 50. I didn't sign the postnup. And Marcus got cold, distant. He stopped talking to me unless necessary, stopped sleeping in our bed, started working late every night. It was like I'd become a stranger in my own house, my own marriage. And I started wondering, what is he so desperate to protect? What's he hiding? So I did what any reasonable person would do. I started looking. I waited until he was at work, went into his office, started going through files, his desk drawers, his computer. I found financial statements, bank accounts I didn't know about, investment portfolios. He had way more money than I thought. We'd always lived comfortably, but not extravagantly. Nice house, nice cars, but nothing crazy. Turns out he was hiding millions, actual millions, in accounts with just his name, money he'd made during our marriage but never told me about. Then I found something else, a real estate deed for our house, the house we lived in, the house I'd spent 3 years decorating, maintaining, caring for, except it wasn't in his name anymore. It was in his sister's name, Caroline. He transferred the house to Caroline 2 months ago. Right around the time I got pregnant, my hands started shaking. He'd moved our house out of his name, so if we divorced, he could claim he didn't own it, could claim he had no assets to split, could leave me with nothing. I took photos of everything, every document, every statement, every deed, and I sent them to Karen, my lawyer. She called me immediately. Emma, this is fraud. He's hiding assets, transferring property to avoid splitting it in a divorce. This is illegal. What do I do? You file for divorce now, before he can hide anything else, and we go after everything, the hidden accounts, the house, all of it. But I'm pregnant. I can't. You can, and you should, because if you stay, if you have this baby while married to him, he'll have even more leverage, more ways to control you. You need to protect yourself and your child. I filed for divorce the next day. Marcus was served at his office. He came home furious. You filed for divorce? Are you insane? I found the accounts. Marcus, the house deed. I know what you did. His face went white. That's none of your business. It's completely my business. We're married. That's marital property. Those are marital assets. And you hid them. You transferred them to avoid splitting them with me. I was protecting yourself. You were protecting yourself, not us, not our baby, you. He tried a different approach, softer, manipulative. Emma, come on, don't do this. Think about the baby. Think about our family. I am thinking about the baby. That's exactly why I'm doing this, because you've shown me who you are. Someone who plans exit strategies while his wife is pregnant, someone who hides money and transfers houses and writes postnups designed to leave me with nothing. That's not a partner. That's not a husband. That's a con artist. He left that night, moved in with Caroline. How appropriate. The divorce took 18 months. It was brutal. He fought everything, claimed the accounts were separate property, claimed the house transfer was legitimate, claimed I was being vindictive and unreasonable, but Karen was relentless. She subpoenaed everything, bank records, business records, emails between Marcus and Caroline about the house transfer, and oh boy, those emails were damning. Make sure Emma doesn't find out about the transfer. She'd never agree to the postnup if she knew. Once the baby's born, we can finalise everything and she'll be stuck. They'd planned it. Him and Caroline planned to trap me, to make me financially dependent, to use the pregnancy and the baby as leverage. The judge was not impressed, called it a calculated effort to defraud the spouse. Awarded me half of everything, including the accounts he'd hidden, including the house, forced him to transfer it back from Caroline, and then split the equity, including spousal support, including child support when the baby came. I gave birth to beautiful baby girl 7 months into the divorce proceedings. Marcus showed up at the hospital, tried to act like a doting father, tried to hold her. I let him because she's his daughter too, but I didn't let him hold me, didn't let him pretend we were a family, didn't let him rewrite history. The divorce finalised when my daughter was 6 months old. I got the house, got half his retirement accounts, got enough spousal support to stay home with the baby for 2 years, got child support, got everything he'd tried to hide, everything he'd tried to steal. And Marcus got supervised visitation because the judge didn't trust him, because the emails showed he'd been planning to minimise parental obligations if the divorce went badly. His own words in writing to his sister. It's been 3 years now. My daughter is 3.5. She's perfect, smart, funny, fearless, and she has no idea how close she came to being born into a situation where her mother had no rights, no money, no protection, where her father had planned everything to maintain control, to keep power, to ensure I could never leave. But I did leave, and I took what was mine, what I'd earned, what I'd contributed to, what was ours, not just his, ours. So if this story made you question that urgent legal document your partner wants you to sign, or made you grateful you read the fine print, hit like and subscribe, because I've got more stories. Stories about postnups used as weapons, stories about hidden assets and fraudulent transfers, stories about men who think they're smarter than the legal system. Spoiler alert, they're not. The truth always comes out. The documents always surface. The emails always get subpoenaed. And the wives who were supposed to be trapped, they get everything. Never sign anything without your own lawyer. I don't care if it's your husband, your boyfriend, your fiancé. I don't care if he cries, if he pressures, if he guilt trips, if he claims it's standard or fair or protects both of you. Get your own lawyer, read every page, understand every clause, and if something feels wrong, trust that feeling, because that feeling, that's your brain protecting you. That's your intuition, screaming that something's off. Listen to it. I almost signed that postnup just to keep the peace, just to avoid the fight, just to make him happy. And if I had, I'd have nothing right now. No house, no savings, no security, just a baby and a broken promise and a piece of paper that said, I deserve nothing. But I didn't sign it. I questioned it. I investigated. I fought and I won. Not because I'm special, not because I'm lucky, but because I refused to be a victim, refused to accept his version of reality, refused to sign away my future because he told me to. So, yeah, he made me sign a postnup after I got pregnant, or he tried to. But I found out why, found out about the hidden accounts, the transferred house, the planned financial abandonment, and instead of signing, I filed for divorce, got my own lawyer, got my own evidence, and got everything he tried to steal. My daughter will grow up in a beautiful house with a mother who owns it outright, with college funds and savings and security, not because her father provided it, but because her mother fought for it, fought for us, and that's the lesson I'll teach her. Not to trust blindly, not to sign without reading, not to accept someone's word just because you love them, but to protect yourself, to question, to demand fairness, to fight when necessary, because love isn't blind trust. Love is partnership, equality, respect. And anyone who asks you to sign away your rights, they don't love you. They love control. They love power. They love having you trapped. Marcus thought he was smart, thought he'd planned everything perfectly, thought he could manipulate a pregnant woman into signing away her future, thought his sister's name on the deed would protect his assets, thought wrong, dead wrong. And now he's paying spousal support, child support, lost half his retirement, lost the house he tried to hide, and lost any chance of being seen as anything other than what he is, a fraud, a manipulator, a cautionary tale. So go ahead, ask your pregnant wife to sign a postnup, hide your assets, transfer your property, think you're clever, think you've covered your tracks, because when she finds out, and she will find out, you won't just lose the marriage, you'll lose everything, and you'll deserve it. Every single cent.